Hi, and welcome to another edition of Strikers Best Bets.
Good day,
Morning,
everyone.
Piere. How are you?
Good. Thank you. I hope everyone had a great festive season and we're ready for the new year and try and get as many winners as possible and try and collect.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've all had a bit of a break. We've all come back well rested and ready to go. We obviously starting. Uh, we obviously starting January with World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. That happens on the 31st of Jan. Pierre and myself will be down there. We'll be doing podcasts and card calls and interviews and on the day. And yeah, it's going to be a great time. But more importantly, it's the LKP this weekend, Pierre. Okay, you've won it a couple of times. Like you've ridden in the race, I don't know how many times. So you know that you know the race course backwards. You know Kenilworth race course backwards, and it's just great to have you on the show and okay to give us all the insights on the racetrack and and maybe tip us some winners.
Yeah, the card I've cut it down to two horses in a couple of races. So maybe with a bit of luck, you could spend little money to make a lot of money.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I went through the card. Obviously, I like to give you my 2 cents worth wherever I can. And I've been looking at this card for the last 2 to 3 days. And it's not easy this year. There's a lot of races that are open, and you got to take a stance somewhere. Um, but yeah, listen, I think it's going to make for big payouts on Saturday. So we've got to look for, in my opinion, we've got to look for some value.
Right. So we start race 2.
Absolutely. So okay, let me give you the betting. Okay, as they bet right now, they're betting 7-2. Pink Pigeon number 10. They're betting 5-1 Wild Applause, 5-1 Vroom Vroom, 11-2 She's Got Class, 8-1 number 9 So Hot So What, and 10-1 and better the rest.
Well, if I look at the betting and I look at my selections, it's completely different. Well, not completely different, but it's quite different. I think it just tells you how difficult this race is, how competitive it is. So, taking form lines and current form really, and draw, I always try and prefer the lower draws down the straight at Kenilworth. I've included number 1. She's got class. Number 2, Miss World, and number 8, Festival Chic, and number 9, So Hot, So What. The fact that the betting is different to my selections, once again, I'm going to say put in as many as you possibly can, and because later on I haven't got as many horses in, so maybe go wide here and hope for some sort of a result.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Go as wide as you can. Obviously, again, I agree with you that I tend to favor the lower draws down the straight. It doesn't mean to say that horses drawn right on the outside can't win. I've seen it in the last couple of Kenilworth meetings, that they're winning from across the track, especially down the straight. My first pick is a horse that you fancy. She's got class number 1. She's done absolutely nothing wrong. Choppies McLachlan is banging form. He's been having a couple of winners. The horses, his course and distance form is impeccable, but a very, very, very hard race. Include as many as you can. So we move on to race 3, another open race, in my opinion. They're
You have to agree.
Yeah, they're betting 6-1, number 12, Loving Prague. They're betting 6.5-1, number 1, Spirit. 6.5-1, number 3, Kestrel. 6.5-1, number 9, Azuri. 7-1, number 4, Catch a Penny. 15-2, number 8, Follow Your Heart. And 15-2, number 10, Match That. And it's 11-1 bar these horses.
Yeah, once again, I've put in 4 horses in a bar pot and a place accumulator. I'm actually going against the 12 Loving Prague. It's only had 3 runs, so it can improve a lot. It only just won, and it won its maiden last time. So I'm actually going to go against it. I could be wrong, but I've gone with number 1, Spirit. It's also a 3-year-old. It's already placed after its maiden wins a couple of times, and it's drawn 1. I've included a 3, Mauritius Kestrel. And then I've included a 9, Azuri, who finished behind Mauritius Kestrel last time. And I've put in a 13, Island Forever. I don't like going for the wider draws, but sometimes, like you say, they can overcome a draw down the straight, especially if it's dry. I think when there's no rain, the track sort of evens out. It's when it's wet, when it becomes a little bit more biased.
Yeah, another hard race, Piere. And like we've reiterated, so many times on our past shows, is that your selections is just a skeleton. People must add where they can, and they must add what they fancy, especially in a race like this. Um, very, very hard. I mean, the betting tells you that if they're betting 6-1, the favorite. So, very, very hard race. I would add in as many as possible. We then move on to race 4, which is a Scepter Stakes. It's a Group 2. They're betting 9-2, number 13, Princess of Gaul. 5-1, number 2, Mia Moo. 5-1, number 10, Quick Step Gal. 6-1, Mon Petit Cherie, number 1. And 10-1, and Better the Rest. Another open race, Piere.
I know you're saying it's open race. This is a stakes race, so it's not a handicap, which means certain horses are better off at the weight. I've cut it down to 2 horses, Mon Petit Cherie and Mia Moo. I think the winner will come out of those 2. They both got good draws, drawn 1 and drawn 2. They've got the form. They're well handicapped. I know the other horses that they've got potential, that are young horses coming up and improving. But right now, I think so much is in number 1 and number 2's favor that I think the pick 6 you could go low and maybe even just have those 2.
Yeah, so obviously we used to own Mia Moo. World Sports Betting used to own Mia Moo along with Sandy and Eugenia Rundle. We sold her on to Drakenstein Stud. I'm sure that she's going to go to stud after the Cape season. And like I said to the guys, we're not breeders. Let's give it to people that know what they're doing, and we'll buy the babies and we'll buy all her children and enjoy her fruits, but in another way. So I've got a fancy Mia Moo, especially on that last run. You and I were actually watching the race together on Summer Cup Day, and when she got slightly left, we both looked at each other and we both said, "Yeah, that's her chances gone." If you can remember, and
Especially she was drawn right on the inside of Turfentine.
100%, she was drawn down the inside, and we just looked at each other and we said, "Oh." And just the way she finished off the race, she motored home. She came she came to fetch this field, and she really won a very, very good race. And I'm sure if Richard wasn't contracted to ride Mon Petit Cherie, I'm sure that Mia Moo would have been his other choice in the race. So
Yeah.
I make it just like you. I like Mon Petit Cherie. I like Mia Moo, and my loon of the race is a horse called My Sensation. I like the last run. She got into all sorts of trouble, and I think that with JP up, because he's also contracted to ride for Greg and Gina Ports, I think she'll give a good showing. So my 3 in the race are 1, 2, and 8. And Mr. Strydom, we move on to the 5th race, where they are betting 5 to 2, number 1, Native Ruler, 33 to 10, number 2, Regulation, 11 to 2, number 3, Zeitz, 11 to 2, number 9, The Equator, 7 to 1, number 7, Okavango, 8 to 1, number 10, Major Master, and 14 to 1 Bar.
Yeah, another feature on the card. I'm sure between Native Ruler and Regulation, JP Vanamava rides. He's contracted to ride for the Greg Ports yard or stable or syndicate. He would have had the pick. I'm gonna go with Native Ruler as my banker in the place accumulator and the bar pot, and then as in my pick 6, I'm gonna banker. I'm gonna follow up or include Okavango, number 7. It's got solid form as well. I mean, there are other horses here that can improve to be in the money, but I think those 2 you could go light again. Maybe I'm making it look too easy, but I only found those 2 horses.
Yeah, so I tend to agree with you that JP would have had the pick. Hence, he went for Native Ruler, that run behind Dave the King, 2.5 lengths behind Dave the King, who's running in the King's Plate later on in the day. It's got to be the right one. Regulation has got a couple of horses beat in the field. At the weights, he's got side speed. He's got Major Master beat. The only other one that I would there's 2 that I would throw in other than that if I wasn't bankering, and that is Okavango and the Equator. I spoke to Paul Piere this morning. The horses arrived last night in Cape Town. They travelled very well. They ate up overnight, and they're good to go. So both horses from Tony Peters' yard are doing well. They arrived last night, and Paul's pretty happy that that the horses got there in good nick. Okay, we move on to race 6, which is the Cartier Paddock Stakes. This is a great race. Always been a great race. Many champions have come out of this race. They're betting even money number 5, double Grand Slam, 33 to 10, Reed Petit number 1, 15 to 2, number 4, Rainbow Lorikeet, 9 to 1, number 10, Red Palace, and 14 to 1 Bar.
Well, if you go on form, there's only one horse that can actually win it. It's double Grand Slam. She's well handicapped. She's beaten all these horses before. 1800, not so sure. I think I've seen her travel quite hard in some of the races. So 1800, you want to be switched off quite quickly. So I would take a chance, and you could bank her. But if you want to just put in one more horse as a young up-and-coming horse, the number 1, Reed Petite, drawn 1. Reading some articles where they say Reed Petite will only get better over more ground, so that means her form should improve even more. So for the place accumulator and the bar pot, obviously bank a double Grand Slam, but for the pick 6, just as a little lurker, I've added number 1, Reed Petite.
I tend to agree with you. I think she's absolutely, she is by far the best horse in the race. We see what she's run against and what she's beaten. The 1800 is a bit of a question mark. And for me, Reed Petite has done nothing wrong. So this is the case of the champion and the pretender to the crown, which is Reed Petite. We'll see come Saturday how the horse Reed Petite has improved. She ran in the World Sports Betting Fillies Guineas. She ran 3/4 length to Quick Step Gal, which was a great run. She was up there all the way, and Quick Step Gal just quickened a little bit better than her. I know that Justin Slaith was very vocal in saying that this horse number 8, Wishlist, is the dark horse of the race. On the LKP podcast, and he said that this horse has improved and she'll be a big run in the race. So those are big words against a horse like Double Grand Slam, who's done absolutely nothing wrong. So it's going to be a great race, and I'm in your camp. I say you either bank or you put in a couple of horses. For me, I'm banking Double Grand Slam. Okay, we then move on to the Cape Flying Championship, which is also another great race. Many a champion have come out and out of this race and gone to stud. There are only 3, in my opinion, 3 top sprinting races in the country, being the Cape Flying, the Mercury, and obviously the computer form sprint. This horse, Buffalo Bull Cody, they're betting 13-10, number 13, Buffalo Storm Cody, 11-2, Tenango, number 1, 9-1, Asia Pambile, 12-1, I'm Giant, 13-1, Constellation, and 14-1, Bar Those.
Yeah, this is not a handicap, it's a set weight, and Buffalo Storm is so well handicapped that if everything was equal, he should win this race on form, and as a 4-year-old, that there's still some scope for improvement as well. So Buffalo Storm Cody could potentially be a banker, and in all bets, even in the pick 6. But I'm just going to include number 1, Tenango, for certain reasons. Buffalo Storm Cody's had to travel from Joburg to Cape Town. It's his first run at Kenilworth. He's drawn on the outer side, drawn 13, and I prefer also drawn on the inside. So the only other horse I'm going to include is number 1, Tenango. Drawn 1, and if you see, when he finished 3rd at Gravel in the Merchants, he's finished 2nd to Buffalo Storm Cody. His draw that day was 13-14. Now, at Gravel, that draw is a terrible draw. And the fact that he only got beaten 1.6 lengths must bring him into play if a lot goes against Buffalo Storm Cody and a lot goes for Tenango, because there's not much in it. And for that reason, I would bank either or, I think, in a place accumulator or even the bar pot. But for the pick 6, maybe take a chance. And maybe Tenango comes and blows the hot pot favorite out, and there's a bit of value in the pick 6.
Yeah, this horse is the highest rated horse in the country, Piere, Buffalo Storm Cody. He's done absolutely nothing wrong since they gelded him last year. He had one blip, running 1.5 lengths behind Iron Giant. Other than that, he's got the most amazing record. So for me, he is the horse to beat. We know that he has travelled well. Um, he is going around, or he is running from the left hand side, which is his first. So there are, if you want to call it, a couple of negatives, but I think that the positives way outweigh the negatives. And for me, this is one of the better bets on the card. I'm not saying he's not beatable, but you've got to go light somewhere. And for me, I think he'll win. We then move on to the big one, onto the Lormrand King's Plate. This is another great another great race, where many a champion have come out of this race. For me, it's far open than the betting suggests. They're betting 2-1 number 2 Jan van Goen, 5-1 number 7 8 on 18, 6-1 number 6 The Real Prince, 7-1 number 10 See It Again, 11-1 Dave the King, 12-1 number 5 and 8, which is Saldacy and Garrix, and 20-1 Bar the Rest.
Yeah, this is once again, it's a set weights, so certain horses are better off at the weight. But this race, the form's very close together, and then some horses might their second run, or there could be excuse from a bad draw. So I've gone quite wide in this race. I know Jan van Goyen is favourite, but he's not well handicapped in this race. And I'm going to include him in the pick 6 just because he's a young horse, improving horse, getting better and better. But I'm going to go wide in the pick 6. I'm going to include Dave the King, number 1, who I actually didn't fancy last time. And the fact that he just kept rolling was great run. Number 2, Jan van Goyen, I'm going to include. I'm going to also include number 5, Sail the Seas. It's probably the right horse in this race. This is his third run from a race, just behind Dave the King last time. He's got to be there. Number 6, The Real Prince, got to be included. Number 7, 8 and 18. First run after many months. Maybe a bit too short for him, but his ability, you've got to include him. Number 8, Garrix. He finished very strongly last time, far back from a bad draw. Got to be included. Number 9, Gladiatorian, got to be included. And number 10, See It Again. I'm a bit worried about second run from a rest. He's probably a bit more effective over further. So this being his second run is maybe not quite in his favour. I know he got left behind last time and finished very strongly, but I think his mission is probably going to be the Met. That's when we're going to see the best of him. But I've included all those horses in the pick 6, and then obviously you cut down what you want in the place accumulator.
Yeah, I also make it very, very open. Like you said, Jan van Goen is definitely not well in at the weight. I like Dave the King. I like the way he won last time. He just kept on rolling. Garrix came from way back, flying. But that's the way he likes to race, Garrix. My loon in the race, my roughie in the race is Garrix. I just like the way he finished the race off last time. His mission has got to be the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. So I make it open, and I would be putting in 4, 5, or 6 horses in the pick 6s. The PAs, I wouldn't put in under 3 horses.
Good.
We move on to race 9. We're nearly there, Piere. Just try and get the betting up. My screen is freezing. Apologies. I have to take the betting from my book. They're betting a 5-2, number 8, ahead of the facts. They're betting 4-1, number 4, holding thumbs. 4-1, number 7, Master of Paris. They're betting 7-1, number 5, Triple Time. Number 1, Daimyo. And they're betting 15-2, number 2, World of Alice. And 10-1 and better the rest.
Yeah, not a big field, but nice competitive field. I see ahead of the facts is favorite. I don't understand. He got beaten by Holding Thumbs last time by a short head. And Holding Thumbs is a kilo and a half better off at the weight. So Holding Thumbs should have the beating of ahead of the facts. I'm gonna put 2 horses in this race. Number 4, Holding Thumbs, and number 5, Triple Time. But for the pick 6, I'm going to include number 6, Magic Verse. I just think maybe this is his mission, the longer distances, and I mean, last time he ran beyond regulation. Before that, the legal counsel. So there's some strong form. Before that, he beat Triple Time. So I'm putting the 4, the 5, and the 6, and then maybe if you want to, then add in ahead of the facts, just because he's a 4-year-old who can improve more.
Yeah, I think you're going to laugh at me, but my best bet on the card comes in this race, Piere. And you haven't mentioned it, but I like this horse, Master of Paris, too much. I'm banking this in my PAs. I'm banking this in my pick 6. And I've already had a nibble on it at 4-1. I truly believe that this is the horse to beat. He's carrying no weight. Moosey's done absolutely nothing wrong with him. He's had 3 rides on him, 1 and 2 seconds. He's carrying 50 kilos. I'm taking my chances. For me, I've gone through this card, and I truly like this horse too much. So that brings us to the close of the podcast. I think it's going to make for a great day's racing, Piere.
I just got one more question. TV, in race 10, the betting number 1.
We'll get there now. They're betting 9-2, number 1. Beware.
Okay. Why I'm asking, it's a competitive race. But if you look at the last start, drawn 14 and 15, behind Jan van Goyen, this field is not close to Jan van Goyen's quality. Now drawn 1. It's only had 4 runs, so it's a lot of scope for improvement. Maybe the horse to get you out in the last race, race 10, number 1. Beware.
Yeah, Piere. I kind of agree with you. He was drawn 14 out of 15, like you say. He was never in the race. Before that, 2 great rides. 2 great wins. He's got Richard back on him. He's 2 from 2 on him. He's got to be a huge runner. And if we're in trouble, okay, this is the horse that we can get out of it on. I just think the punters need to be aware that there are 3 jackpots on the day. The first jackpot starts in race 1. It's going to be a great day's racing, Piere. There are a lot of top horses running, a lot of like there's a couple of horses that are prepping, going into the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met, which happens on the 31st. And just save your date is that Piere, myself, and Andrew Fortune will be doing a podcast on the 28th, a Met podcast. We've asked Andrew Fortune to come onto the podcast. He's graciously agreed. It's going to be a lot of fun. As we all know what Andrew Fortune's like, he gives us a lot of laughs, but he gives us a lot of insights. And he's a great jockey, just like Striker is, and we know that we're in good hands. We will be putting up the selections through the show, and please feel free to add to those selections. And that's it, Piere.
I hope you guys win and happy punting.
Happy punting. All the best, Piere. We'll chat soon.